Welcome to the Chancellor Staff Excellence Award podcast. I'm Keith Miller, your host. Today we celebrate Darold Spillman, a business and administrative associate at Beckman Institute for Advancing Science and Technology. Darold excels in various roles, including programs and project manager and logistics expert. He breaks down administrative barriers to deliver exceptional service to the campus-wide imaging group. His positive impact on research and administrative culture is evident. Respected by all, Darold combines his enthusiasm with a logical approach, fostering a strong connection with faculty, staff, and students. What makes Darold stand out is his willingness to sacrifice personal time for the benefit of the university and its community.
My name is Darold Spillman, and I am a CSEA award winner, and I am an Illinois professional.
Join us as we talk to Darold Spillman about his journey and contributions. Welcome, Darold, to the CSEA Award Podcast. Yeah, so thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So can you introduce yourself, what your role is, and how long you've been at the university?
Sure. I'm Darold Spillman. I've been at the university for 16 years now. My official title is Business Administrative Associate. However, that barely covers what I do.
Yeah.
I take care of a research group. I take care of calendars. I take care of ordering, human resources, lab management, equipment repairs, you name it, and I do it for our research group.
So you're really kind of like the support, you kind of support all the research.
That's correct. I support Stephen Beaupart's research, the Biophotonics Imaging Laboratory, which varies anywhere from 20 to 26 to 27 people. So we do all that. I do all the travel arrangements for all these people. So for the conferences they go to, it's everything.
Oh my goodness, that is impressive. So do you have a team that works with you? Or because that seems like a huge task to keep all those things at the same time.
It is. It is a big task, and I was smiling. People couldn't see that I was smiling, but I was smiling because no, it is just me. I'm the only person that does all this for our group.
Yeah.
And I will say, because I do it, and my boss put it to me nicely, he said, you have this down to a well-oiled machine. I said, well, after 16 years, you would hope that you have that down. To the point that Beckman actually asked me, can I support some other professors in the meantime? So now, not only am I doing it for our current research group, I also do it for our 3 other researchers at the university.
Oh my goodness. So it's even expanding on top of that. If you think back, what inspired you to pursue a career at Beckman?
Honestly,
yeah.
What inspired me to do this role is I was working at a job doing third shift. I was in the military for 24 years. I enjoyed my time. When I got out, I went to work for Masterbrand, kitchen cabinet manufacturing, Arthur. Yeah. Absolutely loved the job. I was working with my hands day in and day out. I was creating pieces, cutting work, doing the mill work. I was doing a lot of different pieces. They were training me on a lot of different things. I am just not a third shift person. I don't like going to work at 10 o'clock at night and getting off at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so after a year of that, I tried to move to a different shift, and that didn't happen. And I started looking for other jobs. And actually, it was a program manager job that opened up, which is what I started at.
Yeah.
Even with Stephen Beaupart, my professor that I work for. And then over the time, my role has changed, and now this is my third job title just because of the expanding work that I do.
Was that all in Beckman? That was all?
Yes, that was all in Beckman
the entire time?
The entire time, yes.
That's fantastic. That's great. So I know you said all of those things that you cover, which, again, is impressive. What does your day-to-day look like? I'd be interested to know.
Well, basically, it's checking mail, seeing what orders I need to take care of, see if there's any lab work. For instance, we just ordered a nice 3D printer from Stratasys. We were having some issues. I had to go down and do some technical challenges and fixes on that to get it working again.
Yeah.
So just doing that, we do research with animals. So sometimes going down and working with the animals and doing different things. It varies day to day, which is what I love because it's never the same thing.
Yeah.
I have a weekly meeting with Stephen Beaupart where we sit down and we talk about the week, the lab, what's coming up. We look at the funding sources. So there's certain times of the year that we're looking at doing the HR work, so doing the appointments for the students and for the postdocs and research scientists. So and we have all those people in our group, and so I have to do all that for them as well.
Oh my goodness. So you have kind of like, scheduled things that, themes that come up throughout the year that basically change your work, you
Yes.
know. varies on the season, kind of like, it comes around and then that's what you do. Okay.
Yes.
That's really cool. Interesting. So you work with the Campus Imaging Group. Can you explain what that is and what your role is there?
Well, our group really focuses on imaging, and we do imaging with lasers.
Yeah.
And so that's really what our lab does. We do two different arms. We do a cancer arm and we do an ear arm, so to speak, where the cancer arm is we're looking at in vivo, we're looking at in animals, in humans, we're looking at cell cultures. We're doing all these to see what we can see. And the imaging that we do is very similar to ultrasound.
Yeah.
And in the fact that ultrasound sends sound waves in and we look to see what comes back. Well, we send light waves in and we see what information comes back. And based on that, we can tell what we see and what cells, what extracellular vesicles are. We see all these different things in living and in cell or in culture as well.
Yeah.
The other arm, the ear arm, is where we're going to Carl Hospital, where we're imaging children's ears who have a ear infection. Most people have them.
Yep.
And it's our chance to go in and see those behind the eardrum. So the doctor, when he looks at it, he sees your eardrum, sees if it's bulging, sees if it's red, sees maybe some coloration in the back. Our chance is to go in and see what's behind that. And actually, we're developing a new technology, which we're including Raman with it. So now we can actually speciate what particular bacteria is behind that ear for treatment purposes.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in that? You support research. So I imagine like you work closely with a lot of researchers. How did you specifically get involved in the imaging group?
It's with how I started with Stephen Beaupart, and that's really his big group is what I manage. And so it's just the interest, because I'm supporting them, because I'm buying equipment for the labs, I'm wanting to know what are we buying it for, where is it going, how is it going to be used? Because in purchasing, you have to sometimes answer those questions. And it's just easier if I know the answer than it is to try to find the answer. So interest of knowing what's happening in our labs and then being involved with it. So actually being on the animal protocols, being on the human protocols, of going into the operating room where we were imaging in vivo on a patient that was having breast cancer surgery done and having a mastectomy. So we're actually imaging in vivo and seeing all of that. Something not everybody gets to do, especially not in my role as a support person. And that's actually one thing that I've had more professors come to me and say, how do I get somebody like you? Because I really like what you're doing for Steve's group, and I really want that in our lab.
Yeah.
And so I've been asked to be on hiring committees where we're interviewing people and recommending people. And actually, one of the other professors, I'm going to sit down with their person they just hired this week to give them some of the ropes on what we do and how we do it.
That's got to feel like an honor. I mean, that's got to feel so good for, other professors coming to you for advice and other research. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. What do you think are some of the most interesting or unique aspects of your job?
That's a hard question because I really find interest in all of them. I mean, I really do. I enjoy making the travel arrangements. I also go to conferences too with the group. So we go to a big conference in San Francisco. I'm part of that. And actually we have a booth at the exposition so that we'll be there talking about our climb center that we have. And so we'll be there with a booth telling the world about the work that we do at the university. And so that's fun. I mean, doing all those things, getting the word out there. We've been asked by, I'm on the school board in Tuscola as well. And so our school has said, hey, you're doing all this work. Can you come talk to our students about it? So once a year we come down and we tell the students about the research that we're doing. And we help them and we show them and we loan them equipment according to the university policies and we get it back. And so the nice thing is we can collaborate with a lot of different people and get the message out about all the work that we do, which is really an enjoyable thing.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. So thinking about over your 16-year career, do you have a specific day that has stuck out to you that you are most proud of?
Well, I know we're here for the award, and I will say I was really surprised and I was really proud to find out that it was the students in our group that nominated me. Because one, they kept it a secret because I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And two, the fact that they felt so strongly about the work that I do for our group and for them that they felt a need to honor me with this award and nominate me for the award. And I appreciate that. I really do, because that's a day that says everything that you do, I do selflessly. I don't want any thanks. I just do it to do it. But it's nice to have people say, no, we really, really appreciate what you do, and we want to thank you so much, and that's why we're putting you in for this award. And so that really, when I stood up there and said my speech that day, that's one thing I said is, if it wasn't for the students, I wouldn't be standing here, because they are the ones that recognize and appreciate the work that I do.
That's amazing. I wasn't privy to that. The students actually nominated you for this award. That's
And that's one of the fun things about my job is because I do work with the students, and I see the students graduate and get their PhDs and go on to their careers. I can follow their careers, and I can, because of what we do, we have to do NSF reporting of where all the previous people went. And so I keep track of everybody. And so every year I invite everybody to come together for one meeting, and some do, some don't. But that's how I keep track of everybody, and I see where their careers are going, and it's fun to watch. It really is.
That's got to be so rewarding to work one-on-one with the students and then see them off and see them go out and get their own job. That's so cool.
Yep.
So how does your job relate to the overall mission of the university?
Well, the overall mission, we are a land-grant university. And so as such, we should be doing research on different things. And so what I do is I support research. I really do, down to the heart of it. That's what I do. And because I've done that, and because I've been so involved with a lot of things, I'm able to help other people as well. And that's an enjoyable thing to do, to be able to, we have new receiving people. Oh, by the way, this is how we inventory equipment. This is how we tag equipment. This is how and these are the codes you use. And I'm a person that always wants to know why. Don't just tell me to put the letter A in that block. Tell me what the letter A means and why it goes in that block. And from there, we can make the world happen. And that's the fun part about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even down to the point to where I even have a patent. As an administrative person, I have a patent with one of the devices that we developed in our group, because I was intricately involved with the development of it.
You're part of the patent too. That's fantastic. So you've gone back to school. You've gone back to get your master's degree. Have you ever thought of crossing that line between administrator or to a researcher or faculty?
I have thought about it, and I thought about it, and I will say I will credit Marina Marjanovic. She is one of the associates that I work with. She's now a retired professor and still works 50% of the time in our research group. She said, Darold, when I joined the group, you need to get a bachelor's degree. And I said, I have an associate's degree. I'm good. I could do my job. I don't need it. She goes, no, but you're smart. You have the abilities. You just need the piece of paper to say that. And so because of her, I went back and got my bachelor's degree. She says, great. Now you can get your master's degree. And I said, no, I don't need a master's degree. Thank you. I don't know what I want to get it in. And actually, I went and talked, because I got my bachelor's from EIU. So I went back and I said, okay, so what kind of master's programs do we have? And I was told here at the U of I, what kind of master's programs could I do as a working person? It was a hard thing to get. And through that, I found that that EIU had a master's in communication for working people. And I thought, communications, that's something I love. I do that on a day-to-day basis. I interact with people all the time. This would serve me well. And so I went back and got my master's. She said, great, you got your master's. Now your PhD. And I said, I thought about it. I actually have a research plan in my head of what I would do. But no, I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. I really am. I'm happy supporting people. I'm happy getting people the support they need so they can do the research to make the cutting edge results that our world needs.
Hey, well, it was fantastic meeting you. You're really a pleasure, honestly. Thank you for being on this podcast. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. And I really appreciate being here, because we do great things here at our university.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Illinois Professional. If interested in nominating somebody for a campus staff award, there's a link in the description for more information. And be sure to follow @IllinoisHR on Twitter for inspirational and informational posts.